Now at 9, area crews battle brush fires throughout the 4 states. Plus, a Diamond, Missouri man is sentenced for sexual exploitation of a child. And how an upcoming 5K could help save the life of a Fairland, Oklahoma woman.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Dow Quick. Crews today worked to stop multiple brush fires all across the 4 states. Reddings Mill Fire and other nearby departments responded to 2 fires miles apart on Foliage Road. The McDonald County Emergency Management Agency closed Highway 43 near Poplar Street due to a grass fire that's north of Southwest City. And all of Grove, Oklahoma area fire departments were busy today with multiple fires in Ottawa and Delaware counties, along with assisting McDonald County. The high winds, the low humidity contributed. Let's check in with Doug.
Yeah, super windy for us today. We had winds gusting at times 30 to 35 miles per hour. And most of the day, our relative humidity was kind of hovering about 15 to 20%, which is super low. And that's what we're going to see over the weekend. So you want to make sure you don't burn this weekend. Pushing record highs. Look at this, a record high of 89, set back in 78. We hit 86. We just had record lows 2 mornings ago. It's still breezy out there, but not as bad as what we had earlier today. These winds are going to kind of stick in that 10 to 15 mile per hour range as we go through the rest of the overnight hours, but then they're going to kick back up once again for us tomorrow. Lower 70s across the board right now. We do have some clouds which are scooting through the region, and eventually we'll drop back to about 65 later on tonight. Still windy tomorrow, good chances for rain. We'll talk about it here in a bit.
See you then. A federal judge sentenced a Diamond, Missouri man to life in prison for sexual exploitation of a child. Authorities say 66-year-old Terry Mixel was a counselor at a Purdy, Missouri drug treatment facility and used his position to solicit explicit images from an underage patient. Mixel was convicted of producing child pornography and using the internet and a cell phone to induce a child to engage in sexual activity. Is sentenced to life in federal prison without parole. A Northeast Oklahoma woman demonstrates what it means to show strength in the face of adversity. Kimberly Chase, her family and friends have joined in the fight against cancer because of her diagnosis. KOAM Shagun Bamadella has more about the challenges she faces.
Kim Chase went to the emergency room for a kidney stone on July 28, 2020. That was the day she learned she had stage 4 colorectal cancer with metastases to her liver and lungs. A search for a cure is ongoing.
We feel like we've ran into a roadblock of the type of treatments that she's done, and she's not ready to lose this fight, and we're not ready to give up either. So it would mean the world.
At the beginning of Kim's diagnosis, the doctors gave her 6 months to live. But it's been 2 years and almost 4 months, and she still continues to fight.
I've got a lot to live for. I want to see my children grow up and graduate and get married and have children, and my nieces. I love watching them play their sports and just being here to be with everybody for the holidays. It gives me a chance to fight because I have the will, I just don't have the funds.
Kim's husband says it is tough.
It's a tough fight for anybody, and I know there's lots of people out there that's dealt with it, and they know how the struggle is, and we just appreciate everybody's help and support and prayers, lots of prayers.
Now, Kim could be headed to New Mexico for treatment. However, it costs tens of thousands of dollars.
Every dollar helps because the $60,000 is just the medical treatments only. It's not travel or anything like that. And they actually told us last night that there's only 1 spot left for this year. And we did put a deposit down because we have faith that we're going to get the money we need to get there and get the treatments that I need.
The family is working to raise money to get the treatment.
We've got a fun run 5K tomorrow here in town, as well as a chili feed. And then on Sunday, the First Assembly of God Church is doing a fish fry.
The fun run starts at 9 a.m. at the First Christian Church in Fairland. Meanwhile, her family continues to fight along with her.
To me, I have to be strong, and I have to be someone she can lean on and be able to pull some strength through to fight a little harder.
In Fairland, Oklahoma, Shagun Bamdele, KOAM News.
You can find more information about how to help Kim Chase on our website, koamnewsnow.com. Buckle up, phone down. It's the focus of a message for teens from the Joplin Health Department. Today is designated as Missouri Buckle Up, Phone Down Day. The Joplin Health Department says car crashes are the #1 cause of death among teenagers, so they're challenging teens and all drivers to buckle and put their phones down to reduce car crashes.
We can get people to just do those two things when they get in the car, buckle up and put the phone down, that will decrease the crashes that happen out there on the roadway.
MoDOT began Buckle Up Phone Down Day in 2017, and that program has been adopted by many other states. Some McDonald County high school students got an in-person lesson on a classic novel. English class students are reading To Kill a Mockingbird. The story involves the 1930s trial about a black man falsely accused of rape. Today, the students went to the historic McDonald County Courthouse to read parts of the book. The teacher says it helps immerse the students in the time frame.
My principal and I had this idea for what I'm calling place-based learning, where we came to the McDonald County Historical Courthouse Museum to read the chapters in To Kill a Mockingbird where the trial happens in Macon. And so in this way it allows us to imagine the scenario more fully and engage with the text in a way that's really more engaging for the students.
That historic courthouse is now a museum. It's located in the Pineville Square. America's fentanyl crisis hit its capital in a unique and tragic way. Reporter Gillian Turner has that story.
Here in the nation's capital, the fentanyl crisis is ravaging entire communities just blocks from Congress's doorstep. And compounding the problem, according to doctors treating addicted patients, is the fact that in D.C. the average age of opioid users is 60. There's a surge of elderly patients now succumbing to fatal overdoses.
It's poison. And as far as I'm concerned, our community has been targeted. We are the capital of the United States.
Dr. Edwin Chapman has been treating users for decades. He believes fentanyl has entirely replaced heroin, which he says is 50 to 100 times more potent.
Since January, we've actually had 3 patients to overdose in the office. That's never happened before. And we keep Narcan in the office.
His senior patient, Mary Withers, says she got clean for 10 years, but then her mother and pet cats all passed away at the same time. She turned back to drugs. Nowadays, fentanyl is what's available in her neighborhood.
Every week, somebody call me and tell me one of my friends OD'd off of fentanyl. People need to know fentanyl is dangerous, even just a little bit of it. If it was up to me, I would stop completely. I would, but my body won't let me.
Pastor John Davis, a D.C.-born area resident, says he's watched fentanyl decimate his congregation in real time.
I've did a lot of eulogies from friends of mine who died from overdose of fentanyl. I'm really disgusted about how it's killing a lot of our people. At that time, it was almost as if they knew that the people that was dying was older black males and a lot of older people in our communities, so they didn't seem concerned.
Some doctors we spoke to say the impact of fentanyl on elderly populations, like here in Washington, is being overlooked by the government. They say it's a tragedy playing out right underneath Americans' noses. In Washington, Jillian Turner, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor another 4-state hero. Ryan Bever served in the U.S. Marine Corps for 7.5 years. The Chanute, Kansas native was part of the 3rd Battalion, 24th Division Weapons Company, and we salute Ryan Bever, a 4-state hero. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later the Pitt State Gorillas prepare for Saturday's homecoming game against Missouri Western. We're going to hear from the Gorillas in sports.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a warm, windy day for us today. We had record lows just 2 mornings ago, and then today we pushed record highs across the region. Nice shot Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. And it's actually turned out to be a pretty nice night for high school football across the region. Temperatures have been pretty good. Most of us today, mid-80s, 4 highs, and then we've dropped off over the past several hours, but still very nice. 70 in Nevada, 68 Monette, Sarcoxie at 70. We have Afton at 63. We can go to Coffeyville, 75. Chanute is sitting at 77. Pittsburgh at 73 degrees. Now, it's been very windy today. The humidity was really low. Still, we got breezy south winds at 10 to 15, but they are going to back off a little bit throughout the overnight hours tonight. 73 south winds at 15. Humidity still low at 30%. Through the rest of the overnight hours, 71 by 11, 66 by 7, back to 70 by 10 a.m. Overnight low right around 65. So it stays mild throughout the overnight hours. Look at these clouds kind of streaming through the region, just mid and upper level clouds, nothing underneath them, but we are going to kind of be in and out of the clouds as we go through the next couple days ahead of this storm system. This is our next storm system that will actually give us rain chances by the time we head into early next week. The weekend looks good, lower 80s, a lot of clouds. We could get a few random showers in our northwestern counties Sunday morning, but temperatures stay warm. It looks pretty good as we go through the next couple days. Let's step you through time. We'll stop in the morning. If you're getting up early, heading out hunting or whatever, we're going to have those south winds, temperatures into the mid 60s. Southerly winds, breezy again tomorrow, upper 70s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, 85 Nevada, 83 in Miami, 82 in Parsons, Coffeyville at about 82 degrees. Tomorrow night, mild again, a little breezy. We get some clouds in here, upper 60s for overnight lows. Then Sunday, you can see those couple random showers, especially in our northwestern counties, but most of us will end up staying dry, warm again, high temps into lower 80s. Clouds increase Sunday night into Monday morning. You can see the rain increasing in our western counties, showers, even some thunderstorms trying to work in, especially Monday afternoon into the evening. This wave pulls east, a second wave works in on Tuesday, and this is something we need. We need some widespread rain. And I really think out of this system, most of us will get 1 upwards to 3 inches of rain, which is going to help us greatly with our severe drought situation. 82 tomorrow, 83 on Sunday. Remember, low humidity, windy, you don't want to burn. 72, scattered thunderstorms Monday, and then cool with showers on Tuesday, high temp at 56.
Wow, the temperatures even are all over the place.
Yeah, they really are. I'm enjoying this, something to talk about.
It gives you something to do, that's for sure. Thanks, Doug. Coming up, when Americans could see loans forgiven.
President Biden with an update on student loan debt relief for millions of Americans. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have that story coming up.
Want to put away more for your retirement? Well, next year you can. The IRS is going to let you invest nearly 10% more in 2023, adding up to more than $22,000. Now it's about $20,000. You won't be surprised to hear the jump is because of inflation. There was other inflation-related news this week too, including changes to federal income tax brackets, which likely mean a boost in take-home pay early next year. President Biden touted his student loan relief plan today, a day after winning 2 court challenges. The controversial plan is set to go into effect this weekend for millions of Americans. Carolyn Shively reports from Washington.
The White House says it's simple. Take 5 minutes to fill out this form, and you could have $20 grand in student loan debt wiped out.
No forms to upload. No special login to remember. Available in English and Spanish, desktop and mobile.
The administration says about 40 million Americans could be eligible for the program. Half of them could see their student debt completely forgiven. The plan cancels $10,000 in debt for eligible borrowers making less than $125,000 a year and $250,000 for households. Pell Grant recipients are eligible for up to $20,000 in loan forgiveness. It received a warm welcome at the president's rally at Delaware State University on Friday. And a Fox News poll taken last month showed that 54% of voters approve of canceling student loan debt, while 43% disapprove. But critics have pounced on the $400 billion program.
All this free money from the government, now let's add in the student loan stuff that he's bragging about. That's stoking inflation even more.
Just over 2 weeks from the midterms, the plan has become a major election issue.
90% of this forgiveness will go to people earning $75,000 or less, but it has not been what I would focus on.
I don't believe in debt transfer, and I don't believe in debt burdening.
After surviving 2 court challenges this week, the program is set to start as early as Sunday. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Still ahead, the committee wants to hear from the former president.
In its most aggressive move yet, the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th riot formally issued a subpoena to former President Donald Trump. The panel is calling on Trump.
Suicides among active duty service members dropped last year compared with 2020. A new report from the Pentagon shows 519 service members took their own lives in 2021. That was down from 582 military members in 2020. While that was encouraging news, the overall suicide rate among active service members is up over the past 10 years, and the rate has remained flat among reserve service members and National Guard troops. The January 6th committee is taking the next step, issuing a formal subpoena to former President Trump. The panel is asking for documents surrounding the Capitol riot, as well as his appearance for questioning after the midterm elections. The announcement coming the same day one of his former advisors learned his fate in a courtroom. Reporter Madeline Rivera has the latest from Washington.
In its most aggressive move yet, the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th riot formally issued a subpoena to former President Donald Trump. The panel is calling on Trump to turn over documents related to its investigation, including communications he sent through Signal, an encrypted instant messaging app. The subpoena also requires him to appear for a deposition by November 14th.
What I'm really hoping is that he will decide that he owes it to the American people to come in and explain himself.
Former President Trump has not indicated whether he'd comply, setting up a potentially high-stakes legal battle as the committee tries to place him at the center of a multi-part effort to overturn the results of the 2020 election.
If the former president provided testimony, the Justice Department will be watching very closely.
Hours before the subpoena was handed down, former Trump advisor Steve Bannon was sentenced to 4 months in prison and a $6,500 fine. Bannon was found guilty in July of contempt of Congress for defying a subpoena from the same January 6 committee.
4 months is no picnic, but still, I think all in all, it's not the real sort of knuckle wrapping that both the committee and the government would have wanted.
But Bannon remains defiant, insisting he did nothing wrong.
On November 8th, the American people will raise judgment, and we will groom the Biden administration ends on the 8th evening of the 8th of November.
The judge has allowed Bannon to appeal before serving his sentence. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Up next, how the study of ancient DNA is giving us a new idea of what Neanderthal communities looked like. Meet the Neanderthals of Shagaskyra Cave. It's the oldest known family group, and the first time scientists are able to directly document the fabric of a Neanderthal family and community. And it's all because of the study of ancient DNA. The study shows the Riverside hunting community was made up of about 20 inhabitants about 54,000 years ago. This included a father and his teenage daughter, a young male, and an adult female second-degree relative. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. The Baxter Springs, Kansas Police Department partners with an organization to hand out vouchers rather than tickets to people with broken head and tail lights. Plus, Pitt State students get in the homecoming spirit with some raft races. The Baxter Springs Police Department wants to help build positive interactions between the community and law enforcement. KOAM's Carrie Worthen talked with the department on their new Lights On program.
So we're partnering with the Lights On program, which is from Minnesota. It's going to be coming to our agency and providing a third option for vehicles that we pull over that have any headlights, taillights, turn signals out.
Officer Randa Andrews was at a training where she learned about the Lights On program and wanted to bring it to the 4 states. Lights On is a nonprofit which boosts economic self-sufficiency for low-income individuals. All money used for this program is donation-based.
With every voucher, it will take away from that fund. So that is really key of why we need donors to donate money to keep that account plenished so we can keep this program up and going. We've luckily had a lot of local sponsors that have donated. Some have been our auto dealerships that's going to actually participate with us, and some were some local businesses just in town here.
Carnes Pro Tire and Auto Center in Quapaw is just one of 5 automotive centers participating in the Lights On program.
The reason why we partnered with them in this program is to help the community better get acquainted with the officers through this program, and also get our name out there. And anytime the community comes to us and asks us to help, we're more than happy to help, always.
Officer Andrews wants this program to help improve community and police relations.
Make people understand that a simple traffic stop isn't always a bad thing. You know, it may be that they had a headlight or a tail light out, or their turn signal isn't working. And, you know, instead of getting a citation right away, it might be that they're getting a voucher that time.
Well, I'm hoping that they're, develop that relationship with the cops, that they're not always out to get them, that they're there to help as well.
Officer Andrews hopes other agencies in the 4 states will join in. In Baxter Springs, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
Baxter Springs is the second Kansas agency to join the program, and they hope to start within the next couple of weeks. If you want to learn more about this program, you can visit our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Pitt State students are showing their spirit by making a splash ahead of homecoming. Pitt State's long-standing tradition, homecoming raft races, were today at the University Lake. Student organizations built their own rafts and faced off in a series of races in 2-person teams. The races determined whose rafts were superior based on craftsmanship and speed.
Today's the raft races, which is where we're actually playing capture the flag in the water with a bunch of other teams, and we're using the rafts that we made with just cardboard, pool noodles, duct tape, and rope. So those were the only things that we could use.
Took the organization 3 hours every day for 2 weeks to get the raft just right for that journey. A CDC survey found nearly 80% of U.S. healthcare providers received a flu shot, and more than 87% got COVID vaccines. Around 67% also received a COVID booster shot. Vaccination coverage was lowest among assistants and aides and those working in long-term care in home health care settings, or for employers who didn't require COVID vaccines. Using a smartphone to keep track of activity can help determine health and mortality risk. There's a finding of a new study from the University of Illinois that shows the monitoring of gait, speed, and walk pace can predict the risk of mortality over 5 years. Republican governors are doubling down on their refusal to follow CDC guidelines on COVID vaccines for school children. Reporter Jeff Paul has more from Los Angeles.
The CDC is receiving significant pushback from some Republican governors after its independent advisory panel voted to add COVID-19 vaccines to the list of immunizations for public school students. Almost immediately, several states announcing they won't follow the new guidelines, which are not legally binding. The CDC says it's simply following the science, while critics claim the agency is playing politics.
That will never be a pretext for there to be a mandate of COVID shots for kids. That is the parents' decision. That is not something that is appropriate to be mandated in our schools.
But most doctors and public health officials are standing behind the new guidelines. Some vaccines on the CDC schedule are already mandatory, including measles, hepatitis, and polio. Others, like the flu shot, are recommended but not mandated in most states, and it's likely the COVID shots will end up in that category.
For me, the vaccine is much better and it decreases severity. All the controversy has come from all of the people who missold this vaccine.
Health officials are also sounding the alarm about the rapid spread of RSV, a respiratory disease. It can be fatal if it's not treated. And now at least 33 states are reporting a big spike in cases just as the busy holiday travel season kicks off.
The challenge with holiday seasons every year is it's also a time where contagious respiratory viruses like influenza, RSV, spread much more quickly.
The CDC says RSV is now spreading nationwide at its highest rate in over 25 years. In Los Angeles, Jeff Paul, Fox News.
A bit later, cause for concern for an important creature.
The future of bumblebees may be bleak. I'm Marianne Rafferty with a look at the new study showing the effects pesticides are having on these vital pollinators. Coming up.
Well, it turned out to be a warm, very windy day for us today. Of course, the humidity was low, so that's why we had the high fire danger today, and that's going to stick around as we go into the weekend. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo just outside of Seneca, Missouri, and it's staying fairly mild. It feels great outside with the breeze for us this evening. Sitting at 70 in Nevada, 69 Neosho. We have 71 in Veneta, and then Chanute is sitting at about 71 degrees. Look at the winds. They have died down just a bit, but we are still getting sustained winds 10 to 20 miles per hour and gusts a little bit higher than that, about 25 miles per hour. These will actually uptick again as we get into tomorrow afternoon. 73, southerly winds at 15, humidity is at 30%. By morning, we're going to drop back into the mid-60s, 70 by 10. Overnight low is 65, but again, tomorrow is going to be another windy one. We got these mid and upper level clouds streaming through. Nothing underneath the clouds. We are going to stay dry, but here's our next storm system. That system will give us good chances for widespread rain by the time we head into early next week, which is great. All right, 82 tomorrow, 83 on Sunday. A lot of clouds. It's going to be windy. There is a few showers Sunday morning in our northwestern counties. Most of you will end up staying dry. Let's go through the next 48 hours. We'll stop by morning, mid-60s across the board. Partly cloudy skies. We're going to warm into the upper 70s by noon. Most of us will go into low 80s once again. 84 in Pittsburgh, 81 in Grove, 81 in Monette, Yates Center, 81. Strong southerly winds. As we go into tomorrow night, we only back down upper 60s. By Sunday, you'll see a few little tiny showers skirting our northwestern counties, but most of us again go into lower 80s by the time we head into Sunday afternoon. Sunday night into Monday morning, the beginnings of that next storm system, so you'll start to see some rain popping up by the time we head into Monday morning. All right, the winds are going to be gusting once again tomorrow, 35, possibly upwards of 40 miles per hour at times. And look at the wind gusts. They stick around. So this is Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. So the entire weekend we're going to have winds kind of gusting in that 30 to 35 mile per hour range. Here comes our next storm system. Check this out. Monday afternoon, showers, thunderstorms do not look severe, but something we'll watch. Wave 1 pushes through. Here comes wave 2. By the time Tuesday rolls around, we really need the rain. Rainfall amounts Monday into Tuesday, I think most of us, 1 upwards to 3 inches of rain, something we greatly need. Warm and windy this weekend, lower 80, 72 Monday. Showers, thunderstorms, cooler with showers on Tuesday.
Boy, we need the showers and the thunderstorms.
We do, we definitely do.
Thanks, Doc. If you're ever on the go and you want to still be able to watch our newscasts live, just download the KOAM Plus app. It's free of charge. You find it in the Apple and Google Play stores, as well as Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Just search for KOAM Plus. Coming up in sports, the Missouri Southern Lions aim to slow down the #1 offense in the MIAA this weekend. Plus, the Pitt State Gorillas try to stay unbeaten on homecoming weekend against Missouri Western. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
The Pittsburgh State Gorillas welcome in the Missouri Western Griffins on Saturday afternoon for their annual homecoming game. Now, the Gorillas are 7-0 heading into the weekend and have made it up to #5 in the national rankings this week. On the other side, Missouri Western is 3-4 in their first 7 games, but they do have a shutout win over Central Oklahoma. They've played a brutal schedule so far. Here's Pittsburgh State head coach Brian Wright on what he sees from Western and the challenges they will present.
They made a few changes defensively this year from a coverage standpoint, and I think that's made them a better defense and allowed them to play some better defense. And boy, you look through the MIAA statistics, and you see them all at the top in a lot of different categories. So they've played good football. They've played a very, very tough schedule, and I know that I know they'll be ready to play this Saturday.
The Missouri Southern Lions also at home tomorrow afternoon. They host Emporia State in Week 8. Now the Lions are 4-3 heading into that one, while the Hornets are 5-2. Now Emporia State is a team that can score, and they like to do it fast. They're the second highest scoring team in the MIAA, but the third lowest team in the conference in time of possession.
They're going super fast, and with that, they're really careful with the ball. And why I say that is Gleason has thrown the ball almost 300 times and he only has 1 interception. That is extremely impressive. They have balanced that passing attack with 2 really good running backs, 28 and 15. So they're tough on offense.
The Kansas City Chiefs are 4-2 to begin the season. Last week they fell at home to the Buffalo Bills 24-20. This week they're back on the road facing the San Francisco 49ers. Like we do here every Friday night, right now it's time to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, in this week's Minute with Mitch.
How many times have you heard the phrase, first things first? The Chiefs are doing things differently this year on offense. Still very effective, just different. For example, the Chiefs have been outstanding in the red zone and touchdown percentage, second in the NFL. But the scoring drives have been more methodical, less big plays, meaning first down efficiency is more important than ever in the Patrick Mahomes era. After roughly a third of the season, the Chiefs are 17th in the NFL in first down efficiency, but there's more to this story. On the Chiefs' scoring drives, they are on first down, third best in the National Football League. This week, it's on to San Francisco to meet the 49ers. And the Niners are the best in the NFL on first down defense. This week, first things first on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry. Every day's game day, Como Jewelry, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
Now that Chiefs-49ers game will kick off on Sunday at 3:25. Chiefs, by the way, are 2.5-point favorites. Now that's a look at sports. Be sure to join us right back here on Fox 14 at 11 o'clock for Press Box. It's a 30-minute show, all high school football. We'll have highlights and scores from all across the area. We're back after this.
This week, Lyft began testing a new feature that allows users to search for and reserve parking spots. The ride-hailing company is partnering with Spot Hero for the service dubbed Lyft Parking. The feature is available in a small number of select cities in the U.S. and Canada, with plans to expand to 50 cities by the end of this year. Did you hear the buzz? A new study is shedding some light on how exposure to weed killers is harming the vision and memory of bumblebees. Marion Rafferty reports.
They're one of the world's most important pollinators, but a new study finds the health of bumblebees is under attack, spelling potential trouble for the countless plants and crops they help keep alive.
Most of us know honeybees as kind of the most common pollinator bee, but bumblebees are the native pollinators.
According to a new study from researchers in Finland, common weed killers made with an active ingredient called glyphosate are negatively impacting the vision and memory of bumblebees. Scientists took 2 groups of bees, exposing one group to a pesticide commonly used on many crops. Both groups were then given a test where 5 colored stations were dotted with a delicious sugar solution, and the other 5 contained a bad-tasting chemical compound. The bees had time to identify which stations contained each liquid.
A couple of days later, we tested their memory by challenging them in this memory test, where they were searching for those same colors.
The result?
Bees that were treated with the herbicide, they didn't remember anything that they learned a couple of days earlier. And control bees, they could still remember most of the rewarding colors.
The study claims pesticides can alter a bumblebee's ability to recognize different colors, potentially impairing their ability to locate certain flowers they need to pollinate. And if the bees can't find flowers, they can't get enough pollen for their hive to eat, causing the hive to collapse and die. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
Coming up, details on a public memorial for country music legend Loretta Lynn. Hollywood Nation is next. Country legend gets an all-star tribute. A comedian and TV host announces a new project and more. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
Hey, Otto! Hank's new dramedy, Noah's third special, and Lynn's tribute in the Hollywood Nation.
I never thought of ever leaving Butcher Holler.
Late country music legend Loretta Lynn will be celebrated during a public memorial service. Coal Miner's Daughter, a celebration of the life and music of Loretta Lynn, will feature many of country's biggest names paying tribute, including Brandi Carlile, Keith Urban, Tim McGraw, and Little Big Town. The special airs live on CMT from Nashville's Grand Ole Opry, October 30th. Trevor Noah heads back to Netflix. The comedian and TV host announced he's releasing his third comedy special, I Wish You Would. It premieres on the streamer November 22nd, less than a month before he officially leaves The Daily Show.
The royal family is in genuine crisis.
The Emmy-winning drama The Crown reigns in today's first looks. Netflix debuted the trailer for season 5 featuring the monarchy dealing with a fire at Windsor Castle, Prince Charles' affair with Camilla Parker Bowles, and Princess Diana's controversial interview with BBC Panorama. New cast members include Imelda Staunton as Queen Elizabeth, Dominic West as Prince Charles, and Elizabeth Debicki as Princess Diana. The series returns November 9th.
Get out of here.
And Tom Hanks is a grumpy old neighbor in the trailer to A Man Called Otto. The Oscar winner plays a widower living alone whose life changes when a young family moves in next door. The film opens in New York and LA Christmas Day, then expands nationwide January 13th. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of tiger cubs at the London Zoo. Let's make it a great weekend.